Hello and happy Tuesday. My name is Wendy Lee from CreativeLeeYours.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US and excited that you're joining me today for a little bit of paper crafting fun. I'm a couple minutes early. Once I get on live and I've made the connection, which sometimes is a struggle, I will admit. But once I get on, I'm like, I want to get started. I want to have some fun, right? Who wants to wait? No one wants to wait. Although I'm supposed to wait to give you a little bit of a time to find me, right? I don't know how quickly the notifications come through. Actually, let me look because I have a notification set up. Let's see if I did get it already. So, okay, hopefully you got your notification, but it comes via email for me. It's kind of odd, right? I don't really check that every few minutes. I should set it up text-wise, I guess. Is that a possibility? Who knows? All right, well, let's get down to our crafty fun today. So before we get started and jumped in, we are going to talk today. I'm just so excited. We're going to talk about repurposing layouts today because that is something that saves you so much time when you are crafting, right? Like sometimes we need something that we can do quickly. So we're going to talk about that today. But before we jump in, a couple of reminders I want to make sure you guys know. So tomorrow is the very last day to register for the September Cultivated Creativity kits. So that is our DIY paper crafting kit. We bundle up a lovely little package and it's packed full of good stuff that you get to use on your projects, but you'll have plenty left over to make additional projects. And that's always fun, right? But it's a 5-project kit, 4 cards and a 3D. I'll show you sneak peeks at the end of today's video, but I've only got a couple spots open. I max out at a certain number and I've almost hit that number this month. I'm going to debate on opening up a few more spots next month, but for this month's kit, it is almost sold out. So one more day on that. And then I also have an anniversary special going on right now. So I don't know if you guys saw, I had posted, I am celebrating 20 fantabulous years as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Yay! Who would have known that that would ever happen, right? I would never have guessed that, ever in a million years. But because of all of your support, I've been able to do this and I love it. Love it, right? So I do have a special little gifty going on. And Stampin' Up! Updated the clearance rack today. So there are some fabulous finds on there. So go out and get those, snag those before they're gone because they do sell out quickly. But there's some really good deals, some things that you might like. But when you use my host code, and I'll put it in this video, but when you use my anniversary host code through tomorrow, you will get a little goodie bag in the mail from me as a gift. So it's a brand new stamp set, about 24-ish sheets of paper and some ribbon, about 3 yards-ish. A little more, a little less. It might vary a little bit. And each packet is different, right? So I went through my crafty stash and I pulled out some goodies to send to you guys as a gift. So take advantage of that. And again, there is a special host code you have to use to take advantage of that. And then the last thing I wanted to make sure I told you about is the paper florist class. I got sneak peeks behind me. There you go. The registration for that one closes this Saturday. So don't miss out. They are spectacular. They're so much fun to play with those dies. You do want to have those paper florist dies to make the cards. I just don't know. Most of the times I try to make things so you could sub out something else, but you really need a set of dies that will create flowers, right? Because we're doing different things with flowers, these die cut flowers. So if you don't have the dies already, you can add them to your kit or you don't have to, right? But that registration closes this Saturday, so don't miss that one either. Okay, I think those are enough for announcements. Let's go ahead and move over to our paper crafting fun, right? See if it goes over. Yay, it did. Okay. So hey, Connie. Hey, Susan. Connie was on here right away. You were waiting for me today. So I hope I don't disappoint. You guys will have to let me know if you're enjoying the content that I'm sharing. Definitely give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Share it with your crafty friends. If you're not already following my channel, go ahead and hit that follow button. I'd love to have you guys over here. And I love that you're joining me on Tuesdays, whether you're watching the replay later or if you're joining me live, taking a little break in your day. I'm happy to have you here. All right, so we are, of course, going to be using the Pick of the Patch stamp set and coordinating punch. This is what we're featuring for our September Cultivated Creativity Kit. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think this is a bundle that many are going to overlook in the catalog. And I just think it's so much fun. Now, if you've got a pumpkin set already and you don't want another pumpkin set, don't get it. It's fine. It's okay. If you have leaves, you could use leaves. You can use whatever fallish item you want to. Granted, you don't even have to make this fall, but our colors for Cultivated Creativity are fairly fallish. Again, you'll see that in a moment. So this is what we're going to use today. But we're going to talk about is repurposing a card layout. So here is a card that I made the other day, last week sometime, and it's a Halloween card, and I use the Pick of the Patch stamp set to do this one, right? Now, what I want to show you today, we're not making this card. We're going to take this layout and we're going to repurpose it, right? So instead of making a Halloween card, let's repurpose this and make a fabulous fall card. How gorgeous is that? Who would have known that this is pretty much the same card, right? It is. All we did was change up our colors and our products just a bit. You could use this concept and change it up so that you're using completely different products. I chose to use the same stamp and punch bundle, but night and day, right? They look so different just by changing out a few products, right? So this is what I hope that you guys will try. So we're not going to make this one today. We are going to make this one right here. Now, these cards are the cards. So every month in Cultivated Creativity, I put a handmade card in there as a little gifty to my subscribers. And this month's card will include either this one or this one. It might have this one in it, but most of them will have this one in it, I think. So I do like to put that in there. And then we also like to do the bonus of adding the tutorial, handwritten PDF tutorial for the bonus card as well. So that we love to do that, right? Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I want to do is I am going to stamp my little cheater strips. Now at the end of the video, I will make sure I go in and put in the complete supply list. So there'll be links. So if you want to shop in the online store and grab any products to create today's project, you can definitely do that. I'll also put the cut dimensions so that you have everything you need to recreate this one. So these are just 2 little strips of Pretty Peacock. Now I'm going to make my own designer series paper by stamping in the background of these. Now I could do this as a full length of cardstock, right? I could have made it 4 1/4 by 4 instead of these little 3/4 strips. But I like to do this because it saves me tons and tons of paper, right? You're covering up so much of it. Why waste all of that? So it's just a little time saving, a little, supply saving. Hey, Crystal, so glad you're here as well. Oh, good. I'm glad you're liking the colors, Connie. I do love this color combination. That Lost Lagoon with Pretty Peacock is fantastic. And then you're pulling in this oxidized copper. Love it, love it, love it. I do love it. All right, so I'm grabbing one of the leafy images that are in the stamp set. Now I could stamp these together. I'm actually going to pull them apart and stamp this. So I'm just going to stamp down the edge. So on the Halloween one, I did the fun little faces of the jack-o'-lantern. But on here, I'm doing this nice little leafy. And you can stamp this however you want to. You can move it, twist it back and forth so it doesn't look directional, whatever makes your heart happy. Or again, you could use designer series paper, but we're making our own today, right? Oh, good. Crystal, you like the colors as well? Yes. Yes. This is such a good color combination in my opinion as well. I love it. All right. Now to put these cheater strips down, I've had a few people ask me some questions. So I'll pull out my little scrap grid paper. It's a little messy, but because I reused this one, I've laminated it. So I'm sure that the shine is not helpful, but I'm going to take my card base. So I've just got a 4 1/4 by 11 thick. Ooh, and I scored that way crooked, as you can see. Let's see, we can fix that for sure, right? All right, get that folded. Oh yeah, I don't know what I did there. I made a big mess of that. Yeah, the oxidized copper. Oh, I can't even say it. it definitely makes a big impact on this one. So here's our thick vanilla card base. I like thick when I'm dealing with things like this, right? Actually, let me turn this way. And the reason I'm saying that, see how I have a dark line here? I'll be able to use that a little bit to my advantage as I go here. So I'm going to lay this out on my grid paper. You don't have to do it this way. I'm just showing you a way that you could help get this straight when you're not using a continuous piece of paper, right? So I'm kind of centering this top to bottom right along that edge. Okay, nice, right? So then when I rotate, actually I need to rotate the whole thing, otherwise I won't be able to do it. My mind is not working that way today. So we'll get that back in there. Hopefully I'm still in camera. Put a little adhesive on this other one. Oh, glue it to my table. Why not? Why not, right? Now I can use this line on the grid paper to make sure that I am in the same place left to right. Now, I rarely do that. I will admit that to you. I eyeball it because I've been doing this for so long. And even if it is a little bit off, it just doesn't bother me, right? But if it bothers you, that's a tip that you can use. Still use the cheater strips to save you paper, but still get it lined up nice, right? Let's see, that oxidized copper, I think, is out of stock right now. Let me double check here. I think it's out until, yes, October 2nd. So it'll be here in just a couple weeks, but currently you cannot order this particular paper. But if you were part of my paper shares, you've got a sampling. And so you've got some you can use. All right, next, let's do our next layers here. So I've got a piece of Pretty Peacock, and then I've got a piece of Lost Lagoon, and I've run it through the embossing machine with the Distress Tile 3D embossing folder. So this is one of our new ones. Love this. Is that so cool? I think it's really nice. And you're gonna be like, Wendy, but these don't layer, right? Look, it doesn't layer, it's too small. Well, that's done intentionally. I found it was easier for me to take the full layer and emboss it and then cut my strips, right, for my front, because I'm just, adding these little panels. So you could change these so that they're not the same. I've made this so that they are the same all the way across. They're just different widths, just to kind of change it up in the back. So I'm going to cut my first strip at 1.5. Let's see, am I in camera? I hope so. And apologies for the ring light. It just is what it is. All right, so I'm putting this at 1.5, and I'm going to cut this. Now I forgot to put pressure on my blade. I ran the blade, but I didn't put any pressure on it. Why I did that, I don't know. All right, so I've got my 1.5 strip. Now you're seeing that it's fraying my paper just a little bit. So I've got a couple things going on here. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I'm going to cut my next one at 1 inch. Now I like to use this side over to the way mine's oriented, to the left of the smaller side of the cutting channel. I just like that. That started to push. So I'm coming up into the middle of the paper. So let me explain what was happening there. So what is happening? So when you have a textured piece and you're cutting it, sometimes it's going to fray. So you're going to get these little frayed edges. You can maybe see here, when I started to cut in, my blade started to push it. So you've got a couple things going on. You've got your layered or your textured cardstock, right? So it's changed it's not the composition really, but we've altered the hand of this, right? We've added this texture, which gives it a little more difficulty to cut through. I still like doing it that way, but if you don't, you do not have to do it that way. Now, I'm going to take a little scrap piece of paper here. I could also have a lot of debris in my cutting channel. So if I take a piece of scrap paper, and you can't see it because I'm at the other end, but look at all that just came out of my cutting channel. So definitely want to clean out your cutting channel fairly often. Now, if I'm still getting frayed edges when I'm cutting other pieces of paper, I will change my blade, right? Sometimes it's just time to change the blade. You could try sharpening it with aluminum foil as well. That sometimes helps. You just have to do you, right? What you're willing to try and how much patience you've got with it. Sometimes I just want to throw it out and get rid of it. Now, my friend Nancy also gave me this, just a little file block. And if you've got those frayed edges, you can run your little file block, just a nail file, right? Buffer. You can run that along there and get those frayed edges off. So that works really nice as well, right? Good tips to salvage things. Okay, so if that bothers you, you can do those things, right? This you just got anywhere, right? This I think was at Sally's. We don't sell those, right? Let's see. Yes. Oh, you're frustrated with the number of out of stock items. Yeah. So I get that. I totally get that. So my only comment is when you see something you want, order it right away. Don't wait. Because that's kind of the world we're living in right now, sadly, right? Stampin' Up! Is doing their best that they can do to support supplies, but you know how the supply chain has been since COVID started. It's getting better, but it's still lots of issues. I'm sure you guys are seeing this in all types of industries, right? When can you order a refrigerator? Oh my gosh, right? It takes forever to get it. So there's a lot of stuff going on. They are doing their best, but again, get in. If you want something, when you see it, order it right away. Now, the good thing is things are coming back in stock. So watch the online store because they will pop back in, right? So I am putting my strips down and I like to do my outer edges first, and then whatever space ends up in the middle is what it ends up being. It's fine. It doesn't have to be all the same, which is what I like. So if it's a little wider, fine. If it's a little narrower, fine, right? It doesn't have to be the same, but it gives you a little leeway. So we may adjust where I place my sentiment so I can cover up my boo-boo down there. We'll see. Maybe I'll remember, maybe I won't. So yeah, so sorry that you're frustrated. I know it can be very, very frustrating, but know that that many of the items are coming back. Just watch the inventory. If there's something specific that you're looking for, let me know and I can tell you. As a demonstrator, we have a little bit of insight on when things are expected to come back in. They don't always follow that. Sometimes things arrive sooner, sometimes things get delayed, but we can kind of give you a feel. But that oxidized copper looks like the week of October 2nd. So here shortly, it'll be back in stock and we'll have it for our fall projects. All right, great. So we're gonna pop this right up. Now, if you didn't want this popped up, you could do a flat, but you know me, I love the raised edges. Cute, right? So much fun already. And did you notice we're using all our edges? Don't waste any of your dimensionals. You can use every bit of that lovely sheet. Okay. Next, all right, decorative circle punch. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This was in our last catalog. It's in the catalog again. And I love it. It's a lot of fun. So you guys know our punches come locked and store flat, and you can easily put them on your shelf. There's a lovely photo on one end or on the top as well. So unlock it, just slide it, and it opens up the punch. This is where the paper goes. This is the side you squeeze. One of the things I love about this is that sometimes my fingers, my arthritis is bugging me, and I can just lean on the punch. I don't even have to squeeze it with my hands, and I get my lovely little shape. And then when I'm done, I just squeeze it, lock it, and it's ready to put back away. Good deal? Okay, so we've got our lovely little circle, and I'm just going to adhere this down with the dreaded liquid glue. You guys know I don't love liquid glue, but sometimes it's the right thing to use. And when it comes to a circular shape, I do like it. So maybe like is a strong word. All right, so I am just going to lay this. Now you can have it hang off the edge a little bit. You can keep it inside if you want to. That's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and let it hang off this edge a little bit. And I'm going a little bit lower than I might have on my original because, again, I'm thinking I might cover that up with my sentiment. I don't know. We'll see. I may just let it sit. Who knows? All right. Liking it so far? I hope so. Now let's prepare our pumpkin. So I've got a piece of just a little scrap of Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to bring in my Pretty Peacock because it layers so nicely with my Lost Lagoon. Now, when you're stamping, if you look at your punch, you can kind of see the orientation of what you need to stamp. So I'm going to want to slide this in here. So that might be my best choice. We'll see how that goes. All righty. Very good. Okay, so again, just unlock my punch and I can just slide my paper right in. Now, what if your paper's too short and you can't get it all the way in? You can create a handle. So grab our scrap paper, our trash, right? I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the end, and I'm going to extend my cardstock by making a little handle. Whoa, by making a little handle. Try not to throw the punch across the room, right? And then I can slide this in, get it where I want it, and then punch that out, and everything goes everywhere, but that's okay. And there's my cute little leaf. And then this all just gets thrown back in the trash, right? All right, we do need a little pumpkin stem. So let's grab a little stem here. And I'm gonna need 2 of those. So I'm gonna put one on the inside as well. Do I need one for the inside of the leaf? I do, I need a second leaf. I've forgotten about the second leaf. Let's see if we can get another one out of this. I'd forgotten about that. So that's my sticky side. Oh, no, my light's being crazy again. All right, let's stamp one more leaf. I forgot about the inside. We always want to bring our design to the inside if we can. So I'm going to go all the way over to the edge. I may have to create a handle again. We'll see. I might be able to do better this time. All right, one more little leaf. Oh, good. I have a little bit extra on this, that little handle there. So now I've got 2 leaves. Great. And then I need my pumpkins, right? So I could stamp them, but I've chosen to use this gorgeous oxidized copper paper. So this comes with 2 different designs. There's a copper on copper, and then there's this copper with this little bit of Pretty Peacock in there. And it's just beautiful, just beautiful. So I'm going to slide this in my punch, and I want both the pumpkins. So, well, I say I'm going to do that. There we go. So I've got it in there. I'm going to get both pumpkins at once. Nice. All right, so now we're ready to assemble. Get rid of our trash. All right, so I'm going to take the big pumpkin. I'm going to put this one to the outside. You could use Stamp and Seal. You could use liquid glue, whatever makes your heart happy. How about I put a dot of liquid glue on each of my little stems. Hopefully I don't end up wearing these stems, because that's usually what happens to me when I do this. All right, there's one. And then we will put this on the back and have that stick up. So you can change your stem to the height you want. You can push it up higher, you can pull it down shorter, whatever makes your heart happy. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. And I'm going to continue to use up the sheet. So let's see, put a couple of them on here, and I'm going to straddle that edge of that little stem just because I can. Make sure it's all intact, it isn't going to move on me. And I'm going to put this somewhat centered in my little circle there. Okay, now I want to put a leaf on there. Now, because of what I'm dealing with on my dimensionals, maybe I'll look for some small ones. Let's see if I've got any minis here. I've got one in black. That'll work, right? We'll try that. Just put a couple little dimensionals. I might have been able to use a bigger one, but we're going to use this. They're black ones. It's okay. You can use black ones, white ones, whatever makes your heart happy. In this instance, I don't think it really matters. And we will slide that right there and pop that up. Now, again, you don't have to pop that up. If that puts you over the edge, don't do it, right? You could do it flat. It will be just fine either way. All right. So I'm just going to save those parts, hopefully not make a mess. Let's do our sentiment next. So I have got a label that I cut out with the Timeless Arrangements dies, and I'm using Pool Party cardstock to bring into this one, where you can see on this one, I used Pumpkin Pie, Cajun Craze, and then I pulled in actually Petal Pink, right? Kind of an odd color to use for Halloween, but I think it works really nicely. And that's the look I wanted, so that's what I did. Let's see, do I have a foam pad? I do. Let's bring in our foam pad. And let's see if we can get a really good stamped sentiment. So we're going to do "You're the pick of the patch." And again, I'm just staying with Pretty Peacock is the ink color I'm using on everything. And I can't really see when I'm on camera, so let's hope this is straight. Not bad, I'll take it. Like it when things work out. Are you guys liking this? You have to tell me. Is this one of the sets that's on your list of I wants? Maybe I didn't know I wanted it, and now I do, because I've seen so many Stick Cute samples with it. I don't know. Everybody needs a good pumpkin set, right? For the fall. All right. So I could move this down and cover my boo-boo, but I think I'm going to keep it back up where I had it up here. but maybe it's, I don't know. No, I'm covering, I'm gonna, no, I'm gonna do that. I don't want it down lower. So I'm just gonna ignore that and just say that that's part of the rustic feel of this particular card. Can I get away with that? All right, Baker's Twine. So who uses their vanilla Baker's Twine? I rarely use the vanilla. The white disappears, the black disappears right away, and then we get left with creme cake, gray granite, and vanilla, right? Well, creme cake and gray granite, I can use those. Vanilla I can use, but a lot of times I will recolor it, right? I will take a blend and color it, make it a different color. But this card is perfect to use up that vanilla twine that you might have extra of. So let's see, did my loops, straighten that out. Now twine tends to twist on you a little bit. So I am trying to untwist or hold the twist out. I'm just pulling these legs as I'm holding the knot. I want this to be a little bit smaller, hang down a little bit. Now you could cut yours off the spool. I like to use it on the spool, but you could cut it off. And if I did cut it off, I'd probably use 8 or 9 inches. I think I have 8 inches listed in the supplies, and you can always trim off after if you don't like it. It looks like I didn't get it very even, but that's okay. All right, we're going to pull in our take your pick and grab a little booger or glue dots is the proper name. I call them boogers. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that on my card. Well, I say I'm gonna. Okay. Now I then can just take this and smush it right down into that glue dot. And it's all good. Now, if this bothers you, it's too long, you can clip that off. I'll leave a little extra on there because I think it kind of looks fun, right? Cute. I'm liking it, liking it, liking it. And we want to have some bling, of course. So I'm going to bring in some of my favorites, the Sparkle Gems. Oh, these are gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So you've got gold, silver, and black. And while this is copper, I think this gold kind of lends itself to be what you need it to be, right? So I'm going to just happily grab some of these gold little gems. Let's put another big one on this one. I used a little one on the other one, but kind of mix and match. Doesn't have to be the same every time. And you could put more if you wanted more than 3. You could add more on. I love these. They're not too terribly tall, so they go through the mail fairly well. I would still put something over the top. So take a scrap piece of paper, or sometimes you can emboss a white or a vanilla piece of cardstock and put it over the top, and that kind of helps protect it as well, and it looks kind of pretty. All right, so let's do our inside. So I've got a couple layers. So here's what we've done. Let me show you. So we've got our sentiment stamped, and then we're going to build another pumpkin over here and add our layers. Do you have to do that? No. Do we want to? Why, yes, we do. All right, let's bring back in our Pretty Peacock. And I could bring in the foam pad. I'm not going to worry about it. If it doesn't turn out good, I will flip it over and we'll try again. But I'm going to go all in. Yay. I've really not had much difficulty with the stamp set and getting good stamped images. Let's see, you're loving vanilla and you use it more than other people. Oh, good, you like the softness. And white is sometimes too stark. I 100% agree with you. And it's funny because when I go in phases that I use vanilla, I really do enjoy it. I just tend to grab for white. And I think some of that is because I use so much designer series paper. And if the designer series paper has white, I go white. If the designer series paper has vanilla, I go vanilla. But I realized this year, I hadn't bought vanilla in ages, but in the last few months, I bought so much vanilla cardstock. It's crazy. All right, our little stem, our little glue spot on our stem should be somewhat dry. But the great thing about liquid glue is that that dries tacky. So it's still sticky. I can still put that down. Let's use a little liquid glue on our pumpkin. Now, if we want to put a little bit on our stem too, we can. Just to make sure that's all down really well. Good deal. And I'm going to have this hanging off the corner, I think, on this one. Did I do that on the original? Oh, I did. Well, not quite as much as I did today. It's okay. You do you. You do what you want to do at the moment that your mood strikes for that particular project. They don't all have to be the same. Nobody knows what it's supposed to look like, right? That's kind of subjective in what you want it to be. So cute. I love it. But bringing that pumpkin in and all that's nice and flat, so it's not going to interfere with the project. So you've got those beautiful fall cards that you can make a quick stack of in no time, right? So, you know, change your colors, make a Halloween, change your colors. I think this would be fabulous for Christmas, right? I'm seeing a snowman with this pumpkin. So you could even keep the same stamp set if you wanted to. I actually have a card, not the same layout that I did putting a snowman out of the pumpkin, using another one of the specialty papers, but I am not ready to share that one yet. All right. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this project and we'll give it a try. Let me show you a sneak peek of the Cultivated Creativity projects. So again, we do 5 projects each month. One is a not a card. So here is our not a card. I'm not going to show you the inside and how this functions because that's just for our subscribers to Cultivated Creativity, but it's a cute, super cute box. We'll have some treats in it. And then this one's a fun fold, kind of using the pumpkins in a little different way, a little unexpected color combination. And then we've got a really nice, lots of great texture with this one, little pumpkin patch. I love this little pie, little pumpkin pie. And then one more here. Fun. So good projects. And again, I've only got a couple of spots left if you're interested in joining us for Cultivated Creativity. All right, lovely. Good. You love it? Yay. Hey, Linda, I didn't see you pop in there. All right, I hope that you guys enjoyed this and we'll give this a try, right? Find a layout, use this layout or one that you like already at home and try repurposing it for another occasion or another colorway. Yes? Perfect. I love the pumpkins as well, Linda. All right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And if you've got questions on anything, just leave me a comment and I will be sure to answer you back. All right, thank you all and bye for